The rising threat. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, tension was building like a storm waiting to break. For centuries, various factions had been locked in a never-ending struggle for power, control, and survival. Planets shifted alliances, star systems rose and fell, and the galaxy seemed caught in a constant state of flux. Amidst this chaos, one name echoed through the void, whispered in fear and awe: the Black Armada. The Black Armada was a legend among the stars. Stories told of their immense power and ruthless efficiency. They were said to be an unstoppable force, feared by all who knew of them. Yet they had vanished from galactic history centuries ago, their last known actions becoming little more than myth. Most believed they were gone forever, a relic of a bygone era. But the truth was far more unsettling. Humanity had recently entered the galactic stage with a dramatic flourish. A young species with a fierce spirit and a knack for survival, humans had quickly made their mark. Their advanced technology, strategic prowess, and sheer willpower had earned them respect and wariness from other species. When humanity decided to join the fray, it was a game changer. The decision came after a particularly brutal conflict where an allied faction was on the brink of defeat. Humanity's leaders, driven by a mix of strategic necessity and a desire to prove their worth, committed their forces to the battle. Their arrival was like a breath of fresh air for the beleaguered allies, their ships cutting through the darkness of space, their armies ready to fight. As the humans engaged in battle, their presence did more than shift the balance of power. It stirred something that had long been dormant. In the depths of the galaxy, where ancient legends lay buried, the Black Armada began to awaken. The first sign of their reawakening was subtle. An unexplained signal, a ripple in the fabric of space, and a sense of unease that swept through the galactic community. No one could pinpoint the cause of this disturbance, but it was enough to make seasoned military leaders and scientists nervous. Whispers began to circulate, and fear took root once more. Reports from across the galaxy hinted at strange phenomena. Ships vanishing without a trace, communications interrupted, and unexplained gravitational anomalies. Some said it was a new weapon, others thought it was a cosmic anomaly. But those who had studied the Black Armada knew better. These signs pointed to the return of a force long thought to be myth. Human intelligence agencies scrambled to investigate. They sifted through old records, ancient texts, and forgotten archives. What they found was both terrifying and fascinating. The Black Armada had been a race of formidable warriors. Their technology advanced beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. They were known for their unmatched battle tactics, their ability to conquer entire systems with ruthless efficiency. As humanity delved deeper into the mystery, they discovered that the Black Armada had not simply vanished. They had retreated into the shadows, biding their time, waiting for a moment when the galaxy was ripe for their return. And now, with humanity's entrance into the battle, that moment had arrived. The reaction from the galactic community was a mix of disbelief and dread. Older species, who had lived through the Black Armada's last reign of terror, felt a chill of fear. They had hoped never to see such a force again. The new generation, unaware of the full extent of the Armada's power, was caught off guard. Many dismissed the signs as mere coincidence, while others prepared for the worst. Human forces were on high alert. They knew their entry into the conflict had been a catalyst for something greater, but the full extent of the threat was still unclear. Military leaders gathered in strategy rooms, their faces grim as they discussed the emerging danger. They had faced many enemies before, but the Black Armada was different. The stories spoke of invincible ships, impenetrable defenses, and a ruthlessness that left no room for mercy. Meanwhile, on the edge of known space, a ship unlike any other began to stir. The Black Armada's flagship, a colossal vessel that had remained silent for centuries, came to life. Its dark hull, once dormant, now glowed with an ominous energy. Commanding officers, once thought lost to history, resumed their places at the helm. The Armada was readying itself for a return to the battlefield, and humanity's arrival had been the signal they had been waiting for. The galaxy stood on the brink of a new era. The legends of the Black Armada were about to collide with the raw determination and innovative spirit of humanity. As the two forces prepared for confrontation, the galaxy braced itself for the clash of legends and the dawn of a new chapter in its tumultuous history. In the midst of this rising threat, one thing was certain: the reawakening of the Black Armada would change everything. The balance of power was shifting, and the galaxy was about to witness a battle that would determine its future. Humanity, with its unyielding courage, was about to face its greatest challenge yet. The stage was set, and the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting for the clash that would echo through the cosmos. The Black Armada's history. The Black Armada had always been a shadowy figure in the galaxy's history. Their origins were lost to time, buried under layers of myth and forgotten records. Yet their name carried a weight that no one could ignore. To understand the present threat, one had to unravel the mysteries of the past. The Black Armada's rise began centuries ago, when they emerged from the dark corners of the galaxy. They were not like other factions. Their ships were enormous, sleek, and built with technology far beyond anything known. Their tactics were unmatched, and their conquests swift and ruthless. They took control of entire star systems, their presence instilling fear and respect across the galaxy. Legends spoke of their leader, an enigmatic figure known only as the Dark Admiral. Little was known about him, but stories told of his cunning strategies and iron will. Under his command, the Black Armada was unstoppable. They were not just a military force, they were a symbol of fear. As the Black Armada expanded, they encountered various species and civilizations. Some tried to resist, while others chose to submit, hoping to gain favor or avoid destruction. The Armada's methods were clear: total domination or annihilation. They left no room for negotiation, and their rule was absolute. Despite their fearsome reputation, the Black Armada eventually faced resistance. A coalition of galaxy's greatest powers formed to counter the threat. This alliance, though smaller in number, was united in purpose. They pooled their resources, shared their knowledge, and fought with everything they had. The battles were fierce and costly, but the alliance managed to push the Black Armada back. The turning point came during a massive space battle known as the Siege of Andromeda. The Black Armada, despite their strength, found themselves facing a well-coordinated defense. The siege lasted for months, with heavy losses on both sides. In the end, the coalition managed to repel the Armada, but not without significant cost. The Armada's forces were heavily weakened, and their advance was halted. In the aftermath of the Siege of Andromeda, the Black Armada began to retreat. They withdrew to the far reaches of the galaxy, their once mighty fleet diminished but not destroyed. Many believed they were gone forever, their threat neutralized. Their retreat into the unknown was seen as a victory for the galaxy, a chance to rebuild and recover. However, the truth was more complex. The Black Armada did not simply vanish. They retreated into the shadows, their disappearance shrouded in mystery. Some believed they were hiding, waiting for the right moment to strike again. Others thought they had become a legend, their story told to frighten and deter potential enemies. For centuries, the Black Armada was little more than a ghost story. Scholars and historians debated their existence, and their threat faded from collective memory. Yet their legacy lived on in the form of ancient texts, cautionary tales, and warnings passed down through generations. Humanity's discovery of these old records was a turning point. As humans explored the galaxy and came into contact with various species, they stumbled upon remnants of the Black Armada's past. Ancient archives, fragmented documents, and even surviving artifacts revealed the truth about the Armada's history. Humanity learned that the Black Armada was not just a legend, but a real and formidable force. With this newfound knowledge, humanity began to piece together the full story of the Black Armada. They learned about their advanced technology, their strategic brilliance, and their sheer power. This revelation was both fascinating and terrifying. Humanity, with its own growing influence in the galaxy, now faced the reality of a threat that had been dormant for centuries. As humanity prepared to confront the Black Armada, they found themselves in a difficult position. They had to face not only a powerful enemy, but also the shadows of history that had haunted the galaxy. The Black Armada's history was a stark reminder of the dangers that lay beyond the stars, and humanity's entry into the conflict had awakened a force that was once thought to be a myth. The knowledge of the Black Armada's past gave humanity insight into their enemies' capabilities and tactics. However, it also highlighted the challenges they faced. The Black Armada was a force that had once nearly conquered the galaxy. Their return was a threat that demanded preparation, strategy, and resilience. As the Black Armada stirred from its long slumber, the galaxy watched with a mixture of dread and anticipation. The past had come alive, and the future was uncertain. Humanity's role in this unfolding drama was crucial. The stage was set for a new chapter in the galaxy's history, where ancient legends would clash with the bold actions of a rising power. The Black Armada's return was not just a threat. It was a call to arms, a challenge that would test the very fabric of the galaxy's unity and strength. The battle intensifies. As the Black Armada stirred from its long slumber, the galaxy found itself on the brink of a new era of conflict. The Black Armada's reawakening was not a subtle event. It was a powerful resurgence that sent shockwaves across the stars. Their return brought an intensity to the ongoing battles that no one had anticipated. Humanity, having just entered the galactic fray, now faced a new level of danger. Their forces were spread thin, committed to various fronts, and now they had to deal with a threat that had been dormant for centuries. The arrival of the Black Armada changed everything. Their advanced ships and formidable tactics turned every engagement into a test of endurance and strategy. The first major confrontation came when the Black Armada launched a surprise attack on a key human-controlled sector. The human fleet was caught off guard, and the battle was fierce. The Black Armada's ships, sleek and menacing, cut through human defenses like a hot knife through butter. Their technology was advanced, their weapons precise, and their tactics ruthless. Human commanders struggled to adapt, but the Black Armada seemed to anticipate every move. Human soldiers fought bravely, but the odds were stacked against them. The Black Armada's superiority in both technology and experience was evident. Their ships, equipped with energy shields and devastating weapons, proved nearly invincible. The human fleet suffered heavy losses, and morale began to wane. The intensity of the battle tested the limits of their resolve. In the midst of this turmoil, humanity's leaders knew they had to find a way to turn the tide. They convened in secret meetings, brainstorming strategies and sharing intelligence. They analyzed the Black Armada's tactics and tried to identify any weaknesses. It was clear that a direct confrontation was not enough. Humanity needed to adapt and innovate if they were to stand a chance. Meanwhile, the Black Armada continued their assault. They targeted key strategic locations, disrupting supply lines and crippling defenses. Their strategy was not just about overwhelming force. It was about dismantling humanity's ability to fight back. They cut off resources, isolated key planets, and created chaos. The galaxy's war effort was in disarray, and the Black Armada's presence was a constant reminder of their growing power. Humanity responded by accelerating their own technological advancements. They developed new weapons, improved their defenses, and started to coordinate more effectively. They formed new alliances with other factions, hoping to create a united front against the Black Armada. The coalition's strength grew, but so did the challenge. The Black Armada was relentless, and every gain came at a high price. One of the pivotal moments came during a large-scale space battle known as the Battle of Nova Prime. The Black Armada launched a full-scale assault on a heavily fortified human stronghold. The human fleet, now bolstered by reinforcements and new technology, prepared for the fight of their lives. The battle was intense, with explosions lighting up the void and energy beams streaking across the battlefield. Human ships fought valiantly, their new tactics and equipment proving effective against the Black Armada's forces. The battle was a brutal test of endurance, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The tide seemed to shift back and forth, with each side gaining and losing ground. The outcome of the battle would determine the future of the conflict. In the heat of the battle, human commanders displayed remarkable bravery and ingenuity. They used their knowledge of the Black Armada's tactics to set traps and launch counterattacks. These moves began to wear down the Armada's forces, but the fight was far from over. The Black Armada responded with even greater ferocity, determined to crush their opponents. As the battle raged on, it became clear that humanity's struggle was not just about winning individual battles. It was about enduring and adapting in the face of an enemy that seemed almost invincible. The Black Armada's power was undeniable, but humanity's determination and resourcefulness were equally formidable. The conflict began to take its toll on both sides. The galaxy was scared by the ongoing war, with planets suffering under the weight of the relentless fighting. The human population, though resilient, faced growing hardship as the war dragged on. Supplies were stretched thin, and civilian morale was tested. Yet, amid the suffering, there was a glimmer of hope. Humanity's ability to adapt and persevere was evident, and the battle for survival continued. In the midst of the chaos, both sides recognized the stakes. For the Black Armada, it was a chance to reclaim their lost power and dominance. For humanity, it was a fight for survival and a test of their ability to overcome the seemingly insurmountable. The battle had become a defining moment for both, shaping the future of the galaxy and determining the ultimate outcome of the conflict. As the Battle of Nova Prime drew to a close, the immediate results were unclear. Both sides had suffered heavy losses, and the fight was far from over. The Black Armada had shown their strength, but humanity had demonstrated their resilience. The galaxy was on edge, waiting to see how the conflict would unfold. The intensity of the battle had set the stage for the next chapter in this epic struggle. With each side pushing the limits of their power and strategy, the future of the galaxy remained uncertain. The fight against the Black Armada had become a defining challenge for humanity, and the outcome would shape the destiny of the stars. The Alliance's struggle. As the Black Armada's attacks grew more intense, the galaxy's fractured factions realized they needed to unite. The threat they faced was too great for any single power to handle alone. Thus, an unprecedented coalition was formed, bringing together diverse species and governments in a desperate bid to repel the Black Armada. The Alliance was a remarkable but uneasy amalgamation of different cultures, technologies, and military doctrines. Humans, with their technological advancements and strategic acumen, played a crucial role. They worked alongside other races with unique capabilities and resources, such as the Vortec, known for their formidable engineering skills, and the Saren, whose telepathic abilities offered an edge in coordinating complex operations. Despite their shared goal, the Alliance faced significant challenges. Trust was a major issue. Historical rivalries and deep-seated prejudices lingered, creating tension within the coalition. Negotiations were often tense, with each member trying to protect their interests while contributing to the collective effort. Differences in military strategies and resource allocation further complicated coordination. The Alliance's first major test came when the Black Armada launched a massive offensive against a strategically important system, known as the Triangulum Cluster. This region was crucial because it controlled several key hyperspace routes and resource-rich planets. If the Black Armada succeeded, they would gain a significant advantage and possibly split the coalition's forces. The battle for Triangulum Cluster was ferocious. The combined fleets of the Alliance, although formidable, were stretched thin. They had to defend multiple fronts simultaneously, and the Black Armada's ability to launch rapid, coordinated strikes made the task even more daunting. The Alliance's forces fought valiantly, but the Black Armada's superior technology and tactics tested their limits. One of the key challenges was the Black Armada's ability to disrupt communication and coordination. Their ships seemed to possess technology that could jam signals and intercept transmissions, making it difficult for the Alliance to mount a unified defense. The Black Armada exploited this advantage ruthlessly, launching surprise attacks and sowing confusion among the Allied forces. The Alliance's leaders, including human commanders, faced a grueling task. They needed to find ways to counter the Black Armada's technological edge while maintaining morale among their troops. The pressure was immense. Each battle seemed to drain resources and wear down the already strained forces. The strain of constant warfare was taking a toll on both soldiers and civilians alike. In a bid to address these issues, the Alliance established a High Command Council, bringing together the best minds from each member species. This council was tasked with devising new strategies and improving communication. The goal was to create a more coordinated response to the Black Armada's tactics and to find innovative solutions to the technological challenges posed by their enemy. Despite these efforts, the Alliance's internal struggles persisted. Disagreements over strategy and resource allocation sometimes led to delays and inefficiencies. Each faction had its own priorities and concerns, and finding common ground was often a challenge. The coalition had to balance the need for immediate action with the need for long-term strategy. One significant breakthrough came when the Alliance managed to reverse engineer some of the Black Armada's captured technology. This allowed them to develop countermeasures and improve their own defenses. The new technology, while not on par with the Armada's, gave the Alliance a fighting chance. It also provided a much-needed boost to morale. The Alliance's unity was tested further when the Black Armada launched a surprise attack on a critical supply line. This attack threatened to cut off vital resources and support to the front lines. In response, the Alliance organized a daring counteroffensive to reclaim the supply routes and prevent further disruptions. This operation, known as the Operation Resupply, was a high-risk, high-reward endeavor. The success of Operation Resupply was a turning point. It demonstrated the Alliance's ability to adapt and overcome significant challenges. The operation restored essential supply lines and provided a much-needed morale boost. It also highlighted the importance of coordination and cooperation among the coalition members. As the conflict continued, the Alliance's struggle was far from over. They faced a relentless enemy and had to constantly adapt their strategies and tactics. The Black Armada showed no signs of backing down, and the galaxy remained in a state of flux. Despite the hardships, the Alliance remained determined. They knew that their struggle was not just about defeating the Black Armada, but also about preserving the future of the galaxy. Each victory, no matter how small, was a step toward ensuring that the Black Armada's threat would be contained and ultimately overcome. The Alliance's efforts were beginning to bear fruit. They started to regain ground and push back against the Black Armada's advances. The tide of the war was slowly turning, and the coalition's unity was proving to be a powerful asset. The struggle was far from over, but the Alliance's resilience and determination offered hope for a brighter future. As the galaxy watched the unfolding drama, it became clear that the outcome of this struggle would shape the future of the stars. The Black Armada's threat had brought diverse factions together in a common cause, and the Alliance's fight against this formidable enemy was a testament to the power of unity and cooperation. The struggle was ongoing, but the Alliance's resolve remained steadfast, driving them forward in their quest for victory. The climax. The war against the Black Armada had reached its critical juncture. The galaxy was exhausted from years of conflict, and both sides were gearing up for the decisive battle that would determine the outcome of the struggle. The stage was set for a confrontation that would be remembered for generations. The Black Armada had amassed a formidable force for this final push. Their ships, sleek and menacing, filled the space around the main battleground, the planet of Zenith. Zenith was a strategically crucial location, rich in resources and a major supply hub for the Alliance. If the Black Armada could seize it, they would gain a significant advantage and possibly crush the coalition's hopes of victory. Human and allied forces knew that they had to prevent this from happening at all costs. The entire Alliance's fleet was mobilized, gathering in the orbit of Zenith for what was expected to be the largest and most intense battle of the war. The coalition's commanders devised a plan that involved a multi-pronged attack, hoping to outmaneuver and overwhelm the Black Armada's forces. The battle began with an exchange of heavy fire. The Alliance's ships, equipped with their latest technology and improved tactics, engaged the Black Armada's fleet in a fierce duel. The space around Zenith became a chaotic battlefield, with explosions lighting up the darkness and energy beams crisscrossing the void. The sheer scale of the conflict was breathtaking. Despite their preparation, the Alliance faced a daunting challenge. The Black Armada's ships were not only advanced, but also highly coordinated. Their tactics seemed to anticipate every move the coalition made. They launched counterattacks with precision, targeting weak points and attempting to isolate parts of the Alliance's fleet. The fighting was intense, and losses mounted on both sides. One of the turning points in the battle was an unexpected maneuver by the Black Armada. They deployed a new type of weapon, an energy disruptor that created massive gravitational distortions. This weapon wreaked havoc on the Alliance's formations, causing ships to lose control and making coordinated attacks difficult. The disruption was a major blow to the Alliance's strategy and threatened to shift the battle in favor of the Black Armada. In response, the Alliance's high command scrambled to adjust their tactics. They focused on adapting to the new threat and countering the Black Armada's disruptive weapon. Human engineers and scientists worked around the clock to develop a countermeasure that would neutralize the energy disruptor's effects. The pressure was immense, and every second counted. The climax of the battle came when the Alliance executed a bold and risky maneuver. Knowing that the Black Armada was heavily concentrated around Zenith, they decided to launch a full-scale assault on the enemy's flagship, the Dark Sovereign. This ship was the heart of the Black Armada's fleet, and taking it down would be a severe blow to their command structure. A specially trained human strike team, equipped with stealth technology and advanced weapons, infiltrated the Dark Sovereign. Their mission was to plant explosive charges and disable the ship's critical systems. The team faced numerous obstacles, including fierce resistance from the Black Armada's elite guards. The tension was palpable as they navigated through the heavily fortified vessel. As the strike team fought their way to the core of the Dark Sovereign, the battle outside reached its peak. The Alliance's fleet, now using the new countermeasures against the energy disruptor, managed to regain some of their lost ground. The tides were beginning to turn, but the battle was still fiercely contested. The strike team's mission was a success. They planted the charges and set the timer, then fought their way back to their extraction point. The Dark Sovereign was left with no time to react as the charges detonated, causing massive explosions and crippling the ship's systems. The flagship, once the symbol of the Black Armada's might, was now in flames and spiraling into the depths of space. The destruction of the Dark Sovereign had a profound impact on the Black Armada. Their command structure was thrown into chaos, and their once coordinated attacks became disjointed. The Alliance's forces seized the opportunity, launching a renewed offensive and pushing the Black Armada back. The final stages of the battle were a whirlwind of intense combat. The Black Armada, though still dangerous, was now fighting without its central command. The Alliance's victory seemed within reach as they closed in on the remnants of the Black Armada's fleet. The tide had turned, and the once feared enemy was now on the defensive. As the battle came to a close, the Alliance's victory was celebrated, but it came with a heavy cost. Both sides had suffered significant losses, and the galaxy was left scarred from the conflict. The Black Armada's threat had been quelled, but the aftermath of the battle left the galaxy to grapple with the consequences. The climax of the battle against the Black Armada marked a turning point in the galaxy's history. It was a testament to the resilience and determination of the Alliance, a reminder of the sacrifices made in the pursuit of peace. As the galaxy began to rebuild, the memory of the battle would serve as a powerful symbol of unity and strength in the face of overwhelming adversity. The aftermath. The battle for Zenith had ended, and with it, The Black Armada's threat seemed to have been vanquished. The once mighty fleet lay in ruins, and the galaxy was left to reckon with the aftermath of the colossal conflict. The immediate sense of relief among the Allied forces was palpable, but it was soon replaced by the sobering reality of the long road ahead. The wreckage of the battle scattered across the space around Zenith served as a stark reminder of the high cost of victory. Ships from both sides floated in the void, their once proud structures now twisted and broken. The debris field was a mix of damaged human and Black Armada vessels, marking the intensity of the confrontation. Human and Allied forces began the daunting task of assessing the damage. They conducted search and rescue operations, looking for survivors among the wreckage. The process was painstaking, and the toll on both military and civilian lives was substantial. Many families lost loved ones, and countless homes and worlds had been ravaged by the conflict. The galaxy was also dealing with the economic and logistical fallout of the battle. Key supply lines had been disrupted, and many resource-rich planets were left in a state of devastation. Rebuilding efforts were needed on a massive scale, and the Alliance had to mobilize resources to address the immediate needs of the affected populations. Despite the heavy losses, there was a sense of determination among the Allied forces. The victory at Zenith had demonstrated their ability to overcome formidable challenges. The unity forged in the crucible of war now had to be sustained in peacetime. Leaders from various factions worked together to create plans for reconstruction and recovery. One of the critical challenges was addressing the political and social impact of the war. The conflict had strained relations between different factions, and there were deep-seated grievances that needed to be addressed. The Alliance's leaders initiated dialogues to promote reconciliation and cooperation. They knew that lasting peace required more than just defeating a common enemy. It required building trust and understanding. In the wake of the battle, a sense of camaraderie emerged among the previously disparate factions. The shared experience of fighting the Black Armada had created bonds that transcended old rivalries. Many began to see each other not just as allies, but as partners in a new era of cooperation. This newfound unity was a hopeful sign for the future. However, the aftermath of the battle was not without its challenges. The Black Armada's remnants, though significantly weakened, still posed a threat. Small pockets of resistance continued to harass Alliance forces, and there were fears that some elements might regroup and pose a danger in the future. The Alliance had to remain vigilant and ready to address any lingering threats. The scientific community also faced a monumental task. The Black Armada's technology, though now in the hands of the Alliance, was still not fully understood. Researchers worked tirelessly to analyze and integrate this technology into their own systems. They sought to learn from the enemy's advancements and prevent any future surprises. As the rebuilding process began, the galaxy's attention turned to the survivors of the conflict. Support was provided to those displaced by the war, and efforts were made to heal the psychological wounds left by the prolonged struggle. Counseling and support services were established to help individuals and communities cope with the trauma of the war. One of the most significant outcomes of the conflict was the establishment of new alliances and agreements. The war had brought together factions that had previously been at odds, and the experience of fighting a common enemy had fostered a spirit of collaboration. New treaties and partnerships were formed, laying the groundwork for a more stable and cooperative galactic order. The victory at Zenith marked a turning point in the galaxy's history. It was a reminder of the sacrifices made and the resilience demonstrated in the face of overwhelming odds. The battle had been a crucible, forging the new sense of unity and purpose among the galaxy's diverse inhabitants. In the years that followed, the galaxy slowly but steadily moved towards recovery and reconstruction. The scars of the war remained, but they were also a testament to the strength and determination of those who had fought to preserve their way of life. The memory of the battle served as a powerful symbol of hope and perseverance. The Black Armada's threat had been quelled, but the lessons learned from the conflict would shape the future. The experience of working together to overcome a formidable enemy had created a foundation for a new era of cooperation. The galaxy was not only rebuilding from the ashes of war, but also preparing for a future where unity and resilience would be key to facing whatever challenges lay ahead. As the galaxy looked towards a hopeful future, the story of the battle for Zenith and the struggle against the Black Armada became a part of its collective memory. It was a reminder of the power of unity in the face of adversity and the enduring spirit of those who fought for a better tomorrow. Epilogue. Years had passed since the dramatic battle for Zenith that had marked the turning point in the war against the Black Armada. The galaxy, once ravaged by conflict, had begun to heal and rebuild. The scars of war were still visible, but there was a renewed sense of hope and purpose among the various factions that had come together to face the threat. The once battered worlds were slowly recovering. Reconstruction efforts were in full swing, with teams of engineers, scientists, and workers from across the galaxy working side by side. Cities that had been reduced to rubble were being rebuilt, and new technologies developed during the war were being integrated into everyday life. The war had left its mark, but it had also led to significant advancements that would benefit the galaxy for years to come. In the heart of the new era, the leaders of the Alliance gathered to commemorate the victory and honor those who had sacrificed so much. A grand ceremony was held on Zenith, the very planet that had been the focal point of the conflict. The ceremony was not just a celebration of victory, but a tribute to the courage and unity that had brought them through the darkest days. Human and alien representatives stood together as they unveiled a monument dedicated to the fallen heroes of the war. The monument was a symbol of the strength and resilience of those who had fought to preserve peace. It depicted scenes of unity and cooperation, showcasing the diverse species that had come together to face a common enemy. The ceremony was a solemn yet hopeful reminder of the cost of war and the value of peace. In the years following the conflict, the galaxy had undergone significant changes. The once fragmented and divided factions had forged a more cohesive alliance, and new treaties and agreements were established to promote long-term stability. The experience of working together to overcome the Black Armada had created a foundation for a new era of cooperation and mutual respect. The scientific and technological advancements made during the war continued to have a profound impact. Innovations that had been developed in response to the Black Armada's threat were now being used to improve everyday life. Medical technologies, energy sources, and space travel capabilities had all benefited from the research and development conducted during the conflict. As the galaxy looked to the future, there was a growing sense of optimism. The once bleak outlook had been replaced by a vision of progress and collaboration. The lessons learned from the war were being applied to address other challenges and opportunities. The spirit of unity that had emerged during the conflict became a driving force for positive change. One of the lasting legacies of the war was the strengthened bonds between the different species. The alliance had grown beyond a mere military coalition into a genuine partnership. Cultural exchanges, joint scientific projects, and collaborative efforts became commonplace. The diversity of the galaxy was celebrated, and the once prevalent prejudices began to fade. The Black Armada, though defeated, was not forgotten. The conflict had left an indelible mark on the collective memory of the galaxy. The story of the battle for Zenith and the struggle against the Black Armada became a part of the shared history, serving as a reminder of the strength and determination required to overcome adversity. In the years that followed, the galaxy faced new challenges and opportunities. The scars of war had not disappeared, but they had become a source of strength and resilience. The people of the galaxy carried forward the lessons learned from their struggle, applying them to build a better future. The final chapter of the Black Armada's threat had been written, but its impact continued to shape the galaxy. The experience of coming together to face a common enemy had created a legacy of unity and collaboration. The galaxy was no longer just a collection of disparate factions, but a cohesive entity working towards a shared vision. As the galaxy moved forward, the memory of the battle for Zenith and the struggle against the Black Armada served as both a cautionary tale and an inspiration. It was a reminder of the cost of conflict and the power of unity. The legacy of the war was not just in the victories achieved, but in the lasting bonds forged and the hope for a brighter future. In the end, the story of the Black Armada and the galaxy's triumph over the threat became a symbol of resilience and hope. It was a testament to the strength of those who fought for peace and the enduring spirit of cooperation that had emerged from the ashes of war. The galaxy, now united and stronger than ever, looked towards the future with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.